I don't respect titles. I don't respect degrees. If the titles don't respect themselves, I don't respect the titles. If the degrees don't do what they say they're going to do, I don't respect the degrees. I respect who a person shows me they are. I don't respect what they tell me they are. I respect integrity of action and willingness to respect other human beings. I respect content of character. The dean was refusing my doctor's recommendations. I thought my last video dovetailed really well to the fifth reason for my dismissal. Repeated patterns of behavior resulting in diminished relationships with administrators, faculty, and staff. I'm going to need some water for this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this without water or tea. I'll be back. This is Ifichugu from January 3rd. I'm choosing to leave this part in. As I edit this, which it's been a while since I recorded this video. I think I recorded this video before the holidays. I haven't looked at it. I haven't been able to look at it or sit with myself as I watch myself fidget and try to get tea and breathe and move my neck around. I'm feeling the tension watching myself, how stressful, how difficult it is to relive these experiences. And I'm reminding myself that I'm worth doing hard things for. I'm worth showing up for myself. I refuse to let what happened to me die. I refuse to not archive the magnitude of harm that was done to me. I refuse to let my story be told by anybody other than myself. And as hard as it is, I'm really grateful to be able to do this. It's a lot, y'all. It's a lot. Let's get back to me from 2 weeks ago. This is really hard. I've been putting off talking about this because I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it. This is a lot. And I'm going to. Reason number 5, repeated patterns of behavior resulting in diminished relationships with administrators, faculty, and staff. I will be talking about this with examples. Repeated patterns of behavior resulting in diminished relationships with administrators, faculty, and staff. This is code speak for when we mistreat you and you let us know that you don't like mistreatment. It hurts our feelings. We don't like that. We would rather you let us get away with awful behavior and disrespecting you and not respecting your boundaries. We would rather you let us get away with mistreating you when you let us know that what we're doing to you doesn't feel good and that you don't like it. We don't like that. We don't appreciate you letting us know that you would like to be treated better. And when you do that, it's actually unprofessional. It's unprofessional for you to let us know you have boundaries. It's unprofessional for you to not just let us do whatever we want, even though it's hurting you. When we hurt you and you say ouch, it hurts our feelings. When we hurt you and you say ouch, we don't like that very much. We would rather you didn't let us know that the things we're doing to hurt you. We would prefer if you were silent about the pain you're experiencing. Thank you very much. That's what that's code for. It is also a form of what people call white fragility. I've been wondering when I'm going to start adding sociological dimensions to this commentary. So much of it I've tried to focus on just stating the facts and not interpreting things. And maybe I'll make a video about that someday. There's so many parallels between the abuse I faced in medical school and the larger social context. And I think as we go into this coming year, I'm going to be talking more about those things. I'm going to be talking about these so-called diminished relationships with administrators. I'm going to be talking about the diminished relationships because there were some relationships that were not diminished, but I guess we don't talk about those. There are many faculty and staff, I don't know about administrators, but there are faculty and staff who have reached out in support of me since this all happened. They can't do it publicly, of course, because that's threatening to their affiliation with the institution. Many people see what's going on and they know what is right. I feel connected and grateful for those people who have confirmed my reality and who affirm what I'm experiencing. The diminished relationships are with people who refuse to see me as a person. I have diminished relationships with people who see me as less than, who refuse to see me as a person deserving of care, and who refuse to do their jobs. People who refuse to let go of their incompetency and provide me with the support that they're tasked with providing me. Those are the people I have diminished relationships with. I have undiminished, strengthened relationships with faculty and staff. Administrators, that's in question, because if there's one thing I've learned to do, it's not trust administrators. And that's not because they're evil people, it's because they're tasked with upholding a system that is quite inhumane and quite destructive. There is no trust. I have tried trusting them and they've harmed me severely. They're not independent operators, they are at the mercy of the institution. Another thing I will note is that there's a triangle between administrators, faculty, and staff. There's this dynamic where the administrators, a lot of the work of administrators, a lot of their work was to be nice, play nice, be the nice guys who were supportive of me. And they left a lot of their dirty work, a lot of the actual mistreatment and aggression and bullying were left to staff members. When things don't go right, oftentimes the dynamic I've seen is that students have specific staff members they want to get upset with, and they're able to get upset with, who are blamed. I also saw faculty members get scapegoated over the course of my time there. When things would go wrong, whoever the faculty member was in charge became the person whose reputation was at stake, rather than the bigger system at play and the administrators being held accountable. The people who were held accountable were faculty members. There's this dynamic where administrators use staff to do their dirty work. They use staff to oppress students. And the person that I am upset with, who I'll talk about the most, is my academic advisor, who was a staff member. They also use faculty in the sense that they feed the faculty messages, or they put limitations on how much faculty can help students, or they make faculty out to be bad. In the case of anatomy, I'll talk about, and I'll read an email where my advisor essentially discarded the work an anatomy instructor was doing to help me as a way to paint me as unprofessional. And the faculty then are restricted in what they can do to help students, or the faculty are fed information about students. In the case of Reagan course leadership, where they were fed untruths about me to paint me in a certain light. This also happened in PhD, where an instructor totally approved my ability to reschedule an exam and then went back on their word because there was intervention by the dean. So faculty and staff are used to get to students. What's behind the faculty and staff are administrators who are controlling and pushing the buttons. There's a lot of triangulation and behind the scene conversations that happen about students, and emails of faculty members sent to administrators, or administrators sent to faculty members and staff, where there's this triangle, this drama triangle that is created, and the student is at the center getting mixed messages and being puppeted by 3 different sources of information, or 3 different people. So they get to play good cop, bad cop, neutral cop. And the whole time, there's a master plan in place, and every student's fate has been decided or is being decided in every single one of these interactions. Talk about confusion. For someone like me who has a really hard time lying or compartmentalizing and being a different person to each of these people, I looked so insane most of the time trying to figure out what was going on and trying to keep track of the lies they had created and were feeding each other and me, and trying to sort my way through. It's a mess. Staff members are disposable. Faculty members are disposable. I'm sure admin are disposable on some level. I don't know what rank that is, but if things got really bad, they would just get rid of the admin. And at the end of the day, it's actually not about the admin or the staff members or the faculty. It's about the larger system at play. And I see this very clearly because at some point I might have become admin, or I might have become staff or faculty to try to help students in the name of changing medicine. And really, the power that these people think they have, they don't really have. We're all disposable. We're all pawns at the end of the day. So everything I'm saying from that perspective. And there's accountability that needs to be taken, because there's real harm that's done when people play into these dynamics and let themselves willingly be used to do such awful, obscene, abhorrent things as what I experienced. Let's start with admin. My conversations with admin were, I look back now and somebody said, "Oh yeah, speaking out about what happened to you." Reddit, I read a comment on Reddit that said something about how me making these videos is in line with reason number 5, diminished relationships with the admin, and that I'm never going to get into any other medical school. And I laughed at that. It's funny. And they're right. It's true. This is not professional behavior. And that's okay. It's keeping me alive, and it's allowing me to be true to myself. If being true to myself is not professional, so be it. I don't respect titles. I don't respect degrees. If the titles don't respect themselves, I don't respect the titles. If the degrees don't do what they say they're going to do, I don't respect the degrees. I respect who a person shows me they are. I don't respect what they tell me they are. I respect integrity of action and willingness to be in dialogue and willingness to respect other human beings. I respect content of character. The dean was refusing my doctor's recommendations and trying to get me to sign a contract in my year off, which was interesting because I was like, I'm sorry, you're also a psychiatrist, right? My psychiatrist said I shouldn't do anything or sign any contract or make any final decisions during this year off. And you're going in direct opposition to that. So I'm a little confused because aren't you a psychiatrist? He did not like that. I was like, are you asking me to do this as a psychiatrist or as an administrator? That would help me know what answer to give you because I just told you what my psychiatrist said. I don't think that conversation went very well. I couldn't tell. I thought I was asking a very valid question and trying to get clarity. And I think he felt challenged. So that I think was my Roman Empire. No, I think that was the beginning of the end for me. That single conversation I had with that dean was the beginning of the end for me. I think that was a canon event. Long and short of it is I will have diminished relationships with administrators who try to make me do things that are harmful to me. That will be true. And if that's the reason why you dismiss me, that's fine. I will also have diminished relationships with people who don't believe that I have autonomy and I know myself best, who try to get me to do things that will harm me. I will not be harmed willingly. Everything else, by the way, weaves into the admin because at the end of the day, admin are the ones who make the final decisions. One of the admins was the one who sent me this email. This same admin has a child who is also in the medical school. The admin who sent me my dismissal letter has a child who's also a medical student. Nepotism is a whole other topic to cover for another day. But how do you send this email with these reasons, knowing my academic trajectory? Meanwhile, your child was in my entering class. How do you not have compassion? The dissonance, right? Telling. But also, their child will never end up in my situation because having a physician parent affords you so much knowledge about systems that exist in such a way that you know how to navigate these things. They would have also hired a lawyer for their child a long time ago, I'm sure, because they know how these things go. And even though they told me that I shouldn't get a lawyer, they didn't ever offer me any kind of legal representation. They had a whole team of lawyers helping them on their end draft these things and follow these procedures. Yeah, so their child would have never been in my shoes, just to be clear. Their child would have had a lot more support and would have never ended up where I ended up, not knowing what the rules are, the hidden curriculum is. I'm not comparing myself to their child. Oh, God forbid, their child would have done a much better job at navigating this web of lies and knowing where lies were because they would have had a lot more help and support and priming and would have never even been clocked for, diminished relationships because their child would have not been identified as aggressive either when they were just trying to advocate for themselves. They would have been like, oh, that's that person's child. They're just doing a really good job advocating for themselves. Let's give them an award, not dismiss them. Don't mess with so and so's child. Anyway,